"What is a hero?" Triton said, as he stood on the steps of the Volcav Academy and glared from one end of the crowd to the other, his arms carefully folded behind his back. "What is a villain? The words are often applied to many without thought. That is not the case here. No, at the Volcav Academy, each of you will be tested, and in the end, many of you will find yourselves worthy of being called a hero." He stared at me with those steely eyes of his. "Or a villain." I stared right back at the hero and tried to be confident. After all, I was the son of Lord Inferno, the world's greatest supervillain, and I'd come to his college to learn how to be a hero. It would have been the start of a really bad joke if Triton and his partner hadn't saved me as a boy. So, sure, my dad might be into world domination, but all I wanted was to clear the Gatyon name, to be more. To me, it seemed that Triton was desperate for a successor, because his speech sounded a lot like a demand to live up to his name. It was no secret that Triton, one of the greatest heroes the world had known in quite some time, was getting old. Years of battle against my father would do that to any man. Not that his partner, Amazoness, seemed to notice. Her real name was Gemma, and she was one of my longtime mentors. The black-haired immortal was as stunning as she'd ever been, and her gaze was a lot gentler than Triton's when she looked upon me. I tried not to stare back, at least not with the same heat I'd given Triton. It was difficult. She wanted so much from me, even then. I could still remember the warmth of her embrace as the two carried me off when I was young, far away from that island where my father swam in his hatred for the universe. They hadn't even asked me if I wanted to be rescued, but I was grateful nonetheless. I struggled every day not to give in to what my father had, unwilling to make the same mistakes he did. Though, I'll admit, it was hard not to hate the way everyone else kept darting their glances in my direction, apparently following the ongoing trends. The initial meet and greet had been a mess. Someone said the name Nick Gatyon, and immediately every eyeball fixed on me like I was going to start ranting about supreme justice. I very nearly considered making light of it, doing a pale imitation of the world's most terrifying villain, in the hopes that they'd realize I was different. I hadn't, but in my mind it was awesome. No one knew what sort of test we would have to endure, but everyone had their suspicions, and rumors sailed all around the room while Triton finished his introductions. A blonde poked me with her elbow and jabbed a finger towards some grumpy-looking douchebag who'd been glaring with rather intense heat after hearing my name. I had no idea who he was, but it was clear he knew of me and wasn't fond.
"Hey, careful on the tests," the girl told me. "Word is the Barber twins are out for blood."
I lifted a brow at that. Of all things I'd been expecting today, an ally wasn't one of them.
To keep listening to this audiobook, I've left you a link in the description so you can do it, at no cost thanks to Audible's 30-day free trial.